Okay. So last night, a Hindu professor came to our home, and he brought an instrument called the veena, and he sang some songs for us, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And the neighbor upstairs was practicing the piano, and when she was practicing, our guest began to play, and we could hear upstairs that she stopped when he began to play. This right here is an excerpt from Baha'i, and what he's talking about is this player, this person who's playing the piano above, heard the beautiful music of this veena and the singing of this Hindu professor, and how when we hear something beautiful, we have to just take the time to stop and recognize it and listen to it. Even if we're doing the same action, we could be doing the exact same thing, but we want to recognize something that is beautiful. And you can do this if you listen to someone who's practicing a piano, and then you have a master, a piano teacher come in, and he plays for you. You're not really going to go back for listening to the person practicing with the same fervor that you have. So what we're doing today is we're going to talk about music and the idea of music. I participate in hip-hop music. I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I love all kinds of music. When I was little, I used to be, not little, let's say when I was a teenager, I used to be what they call a hater. Okay? And a hater is someone who talks a lot of trash about other music or other things, you know? And so I was a big-time hater. If you didn't fall into my puritanical vision of what hip-hop music was and what it was supposed to be, it was pretty much garbage in my eyes. I wasn't gonna get with that. But at that time, at the same time, I was listening to these masters. I was listening to these beautiful people, and I was finding out what hip-hop was made out of. Hip-hop, in the beginning, in its essence, in its purest form, was made of other music. And hip-hop music came from the turntables. Does anyone know the story of how hip-hop came about from the turntables? Yeah, yes sir. What's your name, man?
My name is Ben.
Ben, okay, so give it a crack.
Basically, hey, turn that ruckus down. You know, Bronx in maybe the 80s. So he...
Okay. So in the 80s?
Yeah, he's up, you know, don't want to get in trouble. Instead of lifting up the needle, he put his hand there, kind of realized.
You know who we're talking about? What's the man's name?
Maybe, I don't know.
J. Cool Herc.
Okay, there you go.
Cool Herc. And who was yelling at him? Who was telling him to keep that ruckus down?
His mother.
Come on, dude. He was like, nah. Like, cut it out. So there was a DJ Cool Herc. And he would play some amazing music. He played the 70s disco breaks and all this beautiful music. And his mom exactly, what I'm saying, what's your name again?
Ben.
Ben, like Ben said. Mom came in, busted in. Hey, turn it down. And so he held his record because he didn't want to lose his spot. And while he was doing that, he was going back and forth. And he started to hear this scratching sound coming out of the record. And he took that element, and other DJs took that same element when he introduced it to them. And they just started compiling different ways of using records, music that other people created to make beautiful music. And so I took you from me being a little hater, talking about the music that I love, which you found out was made up of all this other really beautiful music. And then in my old age, being an old man and married and got 3 kids, I really lightened up on the hating part. And in fact, if you ask me, I think Katy Perry is a little bit more fun than some of the underground hip hop that I used to listen to nowadays. So like pop music, all these things. I'm not, and all the little hip hop heads that were just like me. They look like, man, what are you talking about, old man? Like, I don't get what you're saying. It's got to fit in this box. But for me, hip hop has carried me on into a greater sense of unity. It came from music. And so what I want to do today is share with you the idea of spiritual music. For the Baha'i faith, there's not a concept of Baha'i music. There's Baha'i-inspired music. And Baha'i-inspired music is music that is exactly that, inspired by the faith. And this is my young man, Kiabe, who I think ate too many sweet treats. Okay, I also have my other son Capono here, hanging out with Miss Grace back there. So, rather than hear me talk, what I'm going to do, what I like to do, because I work with teenagers and youth, and my job is to get them moving, get their blood pumping. And I'm not going to do that. We don't have a lot of space, but I'm at least going to ask you to participate a little bit. So, Tim got this handy dandy thing right here, microfono. Okay, tell me what the microfono se encarna. Do you want to know what that means? Microphone. It essentially means I stone the mic, or I throw rocks at the mic. And so for hip hop heads, we say we rock the mic. So I'm going to ask you to rock the mic with me in Persian. So let's see. Actually, it might be out of battery here. No, we're good. Very good. Hello. Cool. So I have my copy, and then I'm going to ask some of you to help me out. I have a few choice selections from this book called Music, A Ladder for the Soul. And what I'd like you to do is, if I ask you to, be courageous. I'm not going to give anyone a heads up and like organize it ahead of time. I'm going to ask some people to share from this, and then we'll open it up a little bit to talk about what it means to you. Tim was talking about the harmony of science and religion earlier. We were talking about the harmony of science and religion. And I went to a school called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science, where I learned audio engineering. So right there in the name of my school was exactly that, the art and science of audio, or music, in the sense that I was using it for. And so we're going to talk about science today, the harmony of science and religion, and the science of music. So let's get it started. I met this gentleman, Alexander, right? Oh! Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. This is for you.
All right.
All right. This is your copy right here. I got them all marked, so
You really don't want to get them to sing.
we're going to have him sing first. And then, just kidding, right underneath. Right there. Can you share this excerpt from us from Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith?
We have made it lawful for you to listen to music and singing. Take heed, however, lest listening thereto should cause you to overstep the bounds of propriety and dignity. Let your joy be the joy born of my most great name, a name that bringeth rapture to the heart,
And filled with ecstasy the minds of all who have drawn nigh to God. We verily have made music as a ladder for your souls, a means whereby they be lifted up unto the realm on high. Make it not, therefore, as wings to self and passion. Truly we are loath to see you numbered with the foolish.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. We got it recorded one. Anyway, so if I come around, just be loud. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Raise the roof.
Thank you very much for sharing that. So, okay, so again, some of the things that I talked about, it's interesting to open up with this because I participate in hip-hop music, right? So what are some of the stigmas about hip-hop music? Tell me.
Gangsters.
There are a bunch of gangsters, okay. What else? Bad language, bunch of foul mother language. Okay, okay, what else?
Misogyny.
Some misogyny, some hatred of women, okay. What else is inside of this? Yes?
Vandalism.
Vandalism, okay, so graffiti is part of hip-hop, okay, so vandalism. What else?
Excessive jewelry.
Excessive jewelry. Now, I know some ladies who kind of might be real hip-hop. Okay, but yeah.
She'll break it down.
Materialism, how about that one? Materialism. Okay, what else? Come on. Just bust it out. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm old.
It's a bunch of noise.
Oh, I'm a 70s. I've been in 3 generations of hip-hop already.
It's a bunch of noise.
Just a bunch of noise, okay?
It's just ragging.
It's just ragging. Ragging. You heard that before? Turn that ragging down. It's not real music. Let's crack on hip-hop. What else? What else is that, John? What else? Anything else?
It brainwashes the youth.
Brainwashes the youth. Yeah, one of my favorite rappers do Elvis. Okay, what else? Brainwashes the youth. Anything else? Anyone else heard something?
Encourage violence.
It encourages violence. Violence. So, anything else? Last one, last round? You get to really crack it. Yes, sit down.
Encourages good things.
That what?
Encourages good things.
Okay, you heard that a lot about hip hop?
Well, I've heard it from the hip hop I listen to.
Okay. Okay, so in the defense of hip hop, okay? So the reason why we're focusing on this real quick is because I'm not making a separation, but I'm trying to bring us to a point of Baha'i inspired, okay? And I said earlier, you know, to not overstep the bounds of propriety and dignity, okay? So a lot of the things that were just mentioned overstep the bounds of propriety and dignity. But I do want to point out propriety and dignity from your standpoint. In many other cultures, that's not the standpoint that they're coming from. So I will look at it with a little bit more balanced view and try and understand that some of those things. Now I'm not gonna promote misogyny. I'm not gonna promote violence, but more specifically language and the idea of vandalism and some of the things that have created cultural entities that there's a little validity to it. And when there's a little bit of something, a little bit of validity, you can make a lot of it. Okay? So these ladies were in defense of hip hop, and Cipriano was in defense. So what are some of the positive things that we've heard about hip hop? Can you share? It can encourage you. Okay? First, in a positive way. Yes, ma'am?
Gives young people a voice.
It gives young people a voice. I love that answer right there. I'm going to share that one a little bit.
Creative expression.
Creative expression, a way out of it, like maybe an impoverished situation. Awesome, thanks. All right. Anything else? Some encouragement, some positive aspects of music. It's something new, something that hasn't been done before. Okay. It makes a social statement. What kind of social statement?
I don't know, some of the stuff my grandmother listened to does remind me of some of the stuff.
Like from the 60s and
Yes,
stuff?
that I used to listen to, which my mother hated, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Empowerment.
Some empowerment. What kind of empowerment?
Whoever's singing.
So they feel empowered. Okay. That kind of goes along with that idea of having a voice. Anyone else? Anything positive that you've heard, learned, or heard about hip hop?
Lots of dancers are really healthy.
So good exercise, especially in the physical aspect of hip hop. Yeah, dancing, b-boys, break dancers, b-girls. Yes, ma'am.
Change.
Change. What do you mean?
Change
Quarters,
the
nickels.
world for the better.
So hip hop can change the world for the better. I like that too. Anyone ever seen the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah.
Raise your hand, please. Come on. Who's with me? Yeah. Okay. Very good. So Queen Latifah, a specific artist. She's got some beautiful lyrics out there. UNITY. You remember how she starts out that song though? No? Okay. Now she starts out that song, she says, "Who you calling a..." But it did exactly what we wanted it to do. Address misogyny. But it wasn't necessarily with the propriety and dignity of your standpoint, or some people's standpoint. Just want to point that out. Okay. Couple more. Anything else that you want to add some hands up? Yeah?
It brings to light injustices.
Brings to light injustices. Why is that?
Because the people who, the people who give voice to it are giving voice to their experience, their life, their reality, and it's sharing their reality with everyone.
Right. So there's a MC, his name is KRS-One, and he's got this song, and it's called R-E-A-L, or Real. And if you like hip-hop, you hear about keeping it real. We keep it real. And for him, the acronym for real was rhymes equal actual life. Okay? And so that's exactly right. So the people who are creating music, because they created this music from nothing, essentially, they're taking their own personal experiences, which is what everyone does if you're talking about love.